It was one of those bitter Chicago nights in late December, the kind where the wind cuts through your jacket and the snow sticks to everything but the sidewalks. I'd been driving my cab for 6 hours straight, ferrying loud college kids and tired baristas home from their shifts. My thermos of coffee was down to the dregs when I pulled up outside a diner on Clark Street, a flickering neon sign buzzing, "Open 24 hours," above the door. That's when he got in, an old guy, maybe mid-70s, hunched over like life had been pressing down on him for decades. He wore a threadbare wool coat, gray and patched at the elbows, and his hands trembled as he slid into the back seat. "Lakeview," he muttered, voice raspy, pointing vaguely north. I nodded, flipped the meter on, and pulled into traffic. The snow was coming down light, dusting the windshield, and the heater hummed against the silence. He didn't say a word at first, just stared out the window, his breath fogging the glass. I figured he was one of those passengers, quiet, tired, maybe a little drunk. I'd seen it all before. Then, out of nowhere, he broke the silence. "You ever lose someone you didn't deserve?" His voice was low, almost like he was talking to himself. I glanced at him in the rearview mirror, his eyes were sunken, shadowed under a wool cap, but I nodded anyway. "Yeah," I said, keeping it casual. "Ex-girlfriend dumped me a couple years back. Took the dog, too. Still stings." I thought he'd nod or grunt, maybe toss me a "that's rough" and leave it there. But he didn't. 50 years ago, he said, I walked out on the love of my life. Married her sister instead. My jaw damn near hit the steering wheel. I flicked my eyes back to the mirror, and he was still staring out the window, like he hadn't just dropped a grenade in my lap. "Wait, what?" I said, before I could stop myself. "You serious?" He didn't flinch. "Her name was Evelyn," he went on. "Prettiest girl I ever saw. We were 22, engaged, had a little apartment picked out on the south side. Then I panicked. Thought I wasn't good enough, thought she'd wake up one day and see it too. Her sister, Margaret, she was there, steady, safe. I picked safe." He paused, rubbing a shaky hand over his mouth. "Evelyn never forgave me. Neither did I. I didn't know what to say." The road stretched ahead, sodium streetlights painting the snow orange, and I just listened as this guy unraveled 50 years of regret in my beat-up Toyota. "Tonight," he said, "I saw her. At that diner. She was sitting by the window, still beautiful, still wearing that necklace I gave her, little silver chain with a heart pendant. I bought it for her with my first paycheck. She didn't recognize me. Or maybe she didn't want to. Jesus," I muttered, gripping the wheel tighter. "You didn't say anything to her?" "Couldn't," he said. "What do you say after half a century? Sorry I broke your heart and ruined my life." He let out a dry, bitter laugh. I just watched her sip her coffee and left. We were pulling into Lakeview by then, the streets quieter, lined with brick walk-ups and leafless trees. I thought that was it, end of the confession, end of the ride. But as I slowed near his drop-off, he reached into his coat and pulled out a folded piece of paper, yellowed at the edges, sealed with a strip of tape. He leaned forward and pressed it into my hand. "Do me a favor," he said. "Drop this in her mailbox. 2846 North Ashland. I can't face her again." I stared at the letter, then at him. His eyes were wet now, but his jaw was set, like he'd made up his mind. "You sure?" I asked. "Just do it," he said, shoving a crumpled 20 through the divider, way more than the fare. Then he was gone, shuffling up the snowy steps of a brownstone, disappearing behind a door that clicked shut with finality. I sat there for a minute, engine idling, the letter burning a hole in my palm. Against my better judgment, I drove to Ashland. Found 2846, a tidy little house with a red mailbox out front. No lights on, no sign of life. I hesitated, then slipped the letter in and peeled out of there like I just committed a crime. That was 3 weeks ago. I never saw the old man again, never got another fare to that brownstone. But I can't stop wondering what was in that letter. Was it an apology? A confession? A last-ditch plea to fix what he broke? And Evelyn, did she open it? Did she cry, or curse his name, or just toss it in the trash with that necklace? I'll never know. But every time I pass that diner on Clark Street, I look at the window, half expecting to see her there, sipping coffee, waiting for an answer she'll never get. Every journey comes to an end, but the stories never stop. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe and join us on new journeys. There are many more incredible stories of life behind the wheel to come.